Hello and welcome, my censored leaves. Today we are here to react to Dookie03 about the censorship issues in Dragon Quest. I have opinions on that, and I don't know what his opinions are yet. So only one way to find out, right?
So, I recently got back from vacation. Thank you guys all for welcoming me back. And there's something I wanted to address. I wanted to make a video that did.
Okay, first and foremost, just as a little tip from a creator to another, the music is a bit too loud, or rather, I would say your voice needs to be higher. Like, turn the mic up a bit. It's a bit hard to understand you, but not like too hard, but yeah. It could be a bit better.
Didn't involve a script or anything like that. I wanted to do something that was completely from the heart. And the thing I wanted to address most is the censorship. When it comes to, I guess, newer Dragon Quest games, I was going to say just Dragon Quest III HD2D Remake, but honestly, it's the entire series at this point. Now, I kind of think that both sides are pretty dumb. Like, you've got people that have never played a Dragon Quest game, have zero interest in this franchise whatsoever, making clickbait Dragon Quest videos talking about, oh my god, Sweet Baby Inc. has destroyed this franchise that I've never even played or looked at until now, for clicks, right? Like, you've got that side, and you've also got the side.
I have things to say about Sweet Baby Inc. and none of them would be good. So I'll keep that off this for now. Let's see where we get to here.
You know what? No, I don't think there is a side that wants the censorship. The people that are doing these videos for clickbait saying, oh, you're just like those moms in the 90s and stuff, like when it came to like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. No, there's not a single person, all right? There's not a single person, not a single fan that is like, we want Dragon Quest to be censored. We want it to be more rated G or PG or E for everyone, right? To me, Dragon Quest is a T series, rated T for teen, you know what I mean? It's always had little sexual innuendos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the art style is Akira Toriyama's best at sometimes. I mean, I was talking to Happy Console Gamer on the weekend, and we both kind of agreed that Dragon Quest VII, despite it being like my third favorite game in the series, has some of the worst artwork, probably.
Third favorite game? Nah, it's the best. Everybody can have their opinion, of course. I'm surprised he knows Happy Console Gamer. That's cool, I guess. I watched him a long time. I kind of stopped, but oh well, that's off topic here. The censorship, to be honest, I barely notice it when it happens. And I also cannot agree that 7 has bad artworks. No, it doesn't. It has great artworks. But I digress. Now, it's like, yeah, I know that there is censorship in the West for Dragon Quest, but it is just on such a whatever level that I just don't really care. But people are getting outraged by stuff mostly because they're dumb.
Especially when it comes to like the characters, their designs, and just the characters themselves aren't really all that good in Dragon Quest VII, I feel.
It's the best hero of them all. My little green guy. I will defend him until I die. I would even take out the Master Sword for him. Also, Gabo, come on. Or Ruff, as he's known nowadays. Dude's the cutest of, like, all the characters. I don't get that opinion, to be honest. I mean, everybody can have their opinion, no problem. Of course, if you are of that opinion, that is fine, but I will argue against it still. Because I have a different opinion, and we can have a healthy argument about that, I guess.
But anyways, that's a topic for another video. If you do enjoy Dragon Quest content and you enjoy JRPG content, enjoy what you're seeing right now, please remember to like this video, subscribe, and turn notifications to all so you won't miss the next one. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers.
Do all that on his video and on mine as well. I have a link to his channel in the description.
By the end of the year, and it's only possible with your help. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about it a bit more here. So, yes, they have changed some of the character designs. Not much, not barely any, really, if you think about it. Like, you've got, now recently the warrior, right? They've got the shorts under their, it's basically...
Okay, let's talk about this design. Yes, I wouldn't even say it's censored. I would just say it's a change design. Because even in Japan, that much nudity going on here isn't flying all that well anymore. And quite honestly, it's a warrior. She is supposed to be armored. Her vital points are all free. So even with the censored version, it's still kind of stupid. There should be more armor even now, even after putting like those shorts on. It's just, you need more. It's what is that armor? Like, that's protecting barely anything, especially nothing vital. You can reach her. Okay. Her throat has that ring. That is okay-ish protected. The head is protected, sure. The face isn't. Okay. You gotta have a face on a character. But, like, her whole abdomen and stuff, like, she could be stabbed from everywhere. So, okay. And just to say it, I have no problem with a design like that. It's an RPG. It's not realistic. Not having a fully armored body, as you technically should be having in battle, is okay. I'm completely fine with that. I don't mind that bikini armor stuff. I'm not like into it or anything, but I just don't mind it because it's fantasy still. But if you argue about, oh, it's censored, what are you really arguing about? That you don't have material to jerk off anymore? Because that's a great design there on the right. Yeah, right. Sorry, I'm bad with left and right. Sorry. It's a great design. Come on. Like, I think it looks better than the one on the left. Quite honestly. Those shorts and the leather under the bra armor, those make it just look better, in my opinion. Also, the sleeves, they are cool. The sleeves she has now, they are really cool. It's just an improvement overall, if you ask me.
A loincloth, but it's made out of like that pink steel color, like the warriors in Dragon Quest. They wear pink steel, all right? And they put yellow shorts on her. I'm not too opposed to that, honestly.
Brown. I wouldn't call that yellow. That is brown.
Honestly, it doesn't look bad at all. I think they're going for like a skin color look so that it doesn't look as obvious. But I honestly think it would look better if they put black shorts on her. I don't know. I think it would just fit better.
Yeah, black could work. I don't think it's about skin color, though. I think it's just leather. It's just... Yeah, you could go for a bit of a darker leather, but it's supposed to be leather and that's it. I think there wasn't that much thought put into it. It was just like, okay, we'll give her leather pants now. Period.
I don't like the top, though. I don't like them adding a top at all. Like, she kind of had, like, that bikini top. And I think
like
the most obvious and the biggest offender of this was when they redid Maya's look from...
Okay. Yeah. I never noticed until people pointed that out, so... If you just aren't looking for this stupid stuff, you won't even notice. That's my point, basically. But I do kinda agree with him here. I don't think it looks dumb, but she's supposed to be this exotic oriental dancer, which they're not about like sexual stuff with that bare clothing they have, but it's part of the like design of the design of those dancer outfits in reality as well. So as she's based on that, it's in my eyes very much okay that she shows that much skin. It just fits what she is based on. So yeah, adding that, uh, I think it's in the end. I think it's harmless. It's not a change we really would need to talk about. Honestly, it's it's whatever. It's still okay. Doesn't destroy our design for me.
Dragon Quest IV. And I don't know what game was the first game to do this. It might have been the Dragon Quest Heroes series. I'm pretty sure it was in
I
Dragon
think it was
Quest
Heroes.
Monsters 3 The Dark Prince. But I don't like it. It just looks kind of dumb because the way it's like, I don't know. It doesn't look right. I think if you're going to do it, there's a way to do it and a way not to do it. And this is how.
You know what they should have done? Now that I think about it, there is a way where you could have had that quote unquote censorship, but not make it look weird. And that is leave the metal bra off. Just give her that cloth. That would have looked better. Much better. Because this now just looks like an attachment that you wouldn't do.
This is how you don't do it. But they could have just made the cup size bigger or something like that. Because you can see a little underboob or whatever, which is fine. I have no problem with it. I don't think any single human being that has played Dragon Quest has ever had a problem with it. But I do think these clickbait content creators who've never played a Dragon Quest game sure want people to think that they do. And I'm speaking for, honestly, for the first time ever, I'm speaking for all Dragon Quest fans when I say not a single one of us welcomes the censorship, all right? But there's a way to do it and a way not to do it. And I think...
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, I would say I am against censorship because if you realize something isn't going to work for children, then maybe in your country that game shouldn't be for children, but you need to like market it to a older audience, you know? But all in all, depending on how the censorship goes, I just don't mind it as well. It's just okay. If you wanna do it that way, okay, fine. 90% of the time I don't even notice it. There are like, if we wanna argue about censorship in media, games, anime and stuff, we should really argue about what like Yu-Gi-Oh did and stuff because they censored stuff like extremely awful. Like exchanging the guns. Okay, I get that you don't want guns in your children's game, especially as Americans because they have very strict gun laws and no child would ever see a gun in real life over there. Yes, that is sarcasm. But yeah, okay, those bodyguards don't have guns. I understand that. You don't want that in something aimed for children. Okay. Like I said, maybe try aiming it for an older audience, though with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's also hard to just say it like that. But finger guns? They threateningly point at you? Okay, no. No, that's not censorship. That's making it, like, extremely dumb. That's really, like, what? Huh? That is bad censorship. Really bad. And that's the stuff we would need to argue about. Not like what she is wearing here, which is, yeah, I do prefer the original because it just looks more Oriental dancer like. But I also don't mind it because, okay, she even wears pants now. I didn't even notice that. I thought it was just about the bra. But it's still okay. Like, it's very inoffensive.
Putting like a tank top shirt underneath the bra, it just doesn't even make sense. Like nobody does that in real life, and you never see that in animation or video games.
I wouldn't like. Ah. Okay, here we have a bit of a problem. I think in the original, this bra was meant to be cloth. While in that hero's shot here, it's metal, so more like an armor. And you would wear a shirt under armor because you don't want to have like the metal touch your skin. That's very uncomfortable and will give you rashes and stuff. So it kinda does make sense to do that, and people would do that. I would say, if you're coming from this perspective of this being armor, which, yeah, she has that metal stuff like the chains and things. The original artwork, it could just be cloth, and then you wouldn't do that. Except if you are Superman who puts his underpants above his pants. That outfit is also really bad.
Games either. Just make the metal cup size a little bit bigger, so that you're not seeing the underboob if you're gonna do that. If you want to censor that a little bit, whatever. It's not the biggest deal. There's the other thing. It's not the biggest deal. For the most part,
Yeah.
these are the images that you would see in like the instruction manual. You know what I mean? In Dragon Quest 3, or Dragon Warrior 3, or any version of Dragon Quest 3, you're looking at a character about this big on screen. You know what I mean? You're not going to notice a fucking difference. It's not going to, oh my god, this game is trash. You can't see her cleavage now. Horrible. Dog shit garbage.
People are just way too horny, honestly. Like, I don't get it. Like, every time people argue about censorship like this, the only thing coming to my mind is that they just want to jerk off to a sprite, which is weird, but I don't kink shame.
Like, this is how people are rage baiting right now. And the whole, I don't support censorship, so let's not buy it, is a huge detriment to the Dragon Quest series, and is mostly just going to hinder the fan base. Because if people don't buy Dragon Quest 3 HD2D Remake, and they don't buy Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D Remake, we won't get a proper remake of Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6 on modern consoles. They'll say, look, hey, there's no market for Dragon Quest. Or even worse so, there's no market for it in the West, which is what we've been suffering through for our entire existence as a fan base. Ever since
Okay, little rant on the side here. I finally want to play the game, but I ordered it from Japan because the collector's edition there is like half the price, and I need to wait longer, and I cannot wait. Rant over.
Basically, Dragon Warrior 4, there's been nothing. Like, people that are new fans maybe don't understand this. You should, but maybe you don't understand this. We didn't get Dragon Quest 5 and 6 here in the West. We didn't get a Dragon Quest game between 4 and...
Says the American. I assume you're... Well, maybe you're Canadian if you talk to Happy Consumer. Because living in Germany, we didn't even get Dragon Quest 1 and 2. The first Dragon Quest we got was... I think it was 8. 8! Well, okay, we got Dragon Quest Monsters for the Game Boy Color. That's the one I started with. But, like, after that, it was 8. In Germany, we, like... I got Dragon Quest Monsters, and I loved it so much, and then discovered, like, Dragon Quest 6 and other games through emulation. So... But, like... This is my favorite game series of all time. And I had such a hard time to get into it still, because it just... And that hurts. And now finally these games are coming over. Even not like a worldwide release, and that makes me so happy. If because of stupid censorship issue idiots, that will change, I swear, I'm gonna put on my cam, like full screen, like this, just gonna cry, and that's the video, me crying. Just me crying. That will be it. I don't cry that easily. So, yeah, I probably would need to fake tears, which I can do, but like, actual crying, I'm not that prone to crying. I am fine with my feelings. I can be sad, and I do cry from time to time, but like, only if like really heavy things happen. And Grave of the Fireflies. Oh gosh, Grave of the Fireflies. Let's move on. I digress way too much again.
And 7. So the entire Super Nintendo which was a JRPG machine and a console that was kind of advertised as a JRPG machine, was completely missing out on two big games from our favorite franchise. And then after that, we got 7, which classic Enix did not market worth a damn. And then Square Enix rarely markets any Dragon Quest games. Like, they're definitely getting a lot better. I must admit, like Dragon Quest Monsters 3, The Dark Prince, and Dragon Quest Treasures kind of had some good marketing, and they're doing a great job marketing Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake. And I think to shove that back in their faces and say, look, we're not going to buy this is a huge insult to both the developers and to the fan base, because we could be back in the dark ages like that. This is the best time to be a Dragon Quest fan. I made a video on that like not too long ago. But this is the best time to be a Dragon Quest fan. We're getting all the best Dragon Quest games. We're getting all the Dragon Quest games that are releasing, for the most part, here in the West, finally. This has not been the case in probably 20 years. We got Dragon Quest 8, we got Dragon Quest 9, and then there was a huge gap again. As far as spin-offs, we've got barely any of them. We're getting a lot more now, but people love Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime on the Game Boy Advance, for example. Well, that's actually the second game in the series. We did not get the first game in that series. And guess what? We didn't get the third game either on the 3DS. We didn't get the Dragon Quest Monsters remakes on the 3DS, which are absolute incredible games, by the way. We didn't get Dragon Quest Monsters 3 Joker Professional. Hell, I don't even know if we got Dragon Quest Monsters 3 Joker at all. So there's just so many games we missed out on here in the...
Dragon Quest Joker 3 was never released in the West. Also, what I really am asking for is the Dragon Quest Monsters GBC games they have in Japan on the Switch. I could get them from the Japanese eShop, of course, but my knowledge of Japanese is very, 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 very chisai.
The West, and I think the fact that they're finally bringing everything that they have to offer to us here in the West, we need to appreciate that. Yes. We need to support that by buying these games. It's okay to voice our concerns with the way things are going censorship-wise, but we also have to realize that it's not just us in the West that are getting the censorship either. No, Type A and Type B has been something that's been around in the Dragon Quest series for quite some time.
That's stupid debate, because you don't choose male or female, but instead get Type A or Type B sprite. Which is okay, you take away the gender stuff, which nowadays is honestly just a good idea, so nobody can complain. And if you want to interpret your character as trans, do it. You can do that. You could do that even if they call it male and female. What I'm saying is, it fucking doesn't matter. It's just a little choice in the beginning that makes you either walk around as that sprite or as that sprite. And why are people giving a fuck about that? It's doing nothing. It changes nothing. It doesn't impact the story at all. It doesn't impact the gameplay. It doesn't impact nothing. It's just a little bit of wording that doesn't matter. And I am of the opinion that words do matter, because the right words at the right time give context, and there are words you should choose for specific times that would in other times be not the word to go for, but using a synonym and stuff. But that's all for story and explanations and things. But for just choosing which sprite you want to walk around, it's absolutely, call it not male or female or Type E or Type B, but call it and ribbelibab. It's the same in the end. It really doesn't matter. And I have no idea how to write that nonsense. I just spouted left and right here, literally. I don't even know what I said. Call them guy and girl or lights on, lights off. It's really just fucking idiotic to talk about that stuff. Let's see what he has to say.
I'm now in Japan. I want to say back to maybe the Wii generation, because it's in Dragon Quest X. Dragon Quest X came out originally on the Wii and that time period, And Dragon Quest X's always been Type A and Type B for your characters. And that's quite a while ago, man. That's like, I want to say like 2008 or something like that. Maybe 2010 at the latest. That's a long time, dude. That's 14 years. This isn't modern gaming changing the way Dragon Quest is. It's just how it's been for a long time.
Another thing people have been complaining a lot about, and I'm adding this during the editing process of this video, is the priest's new design, which isn't really that new. So the original design was like a cross way back when, and they added like a kind of a pronged look instead of...
Oh yeah, but like, that's what you gotta do. Like, my opinion is the church, the Christian church to be specific, shouldn't give a fuck. It's a video game. Come on. At that point, it's just a video game, which is something I rarely would say. But, you know, you have to put yourself in the shoes of Square Enix, which would be like, okay, we could use this cross, and then the whole Christian community would probably come to our office, burn it down, piss on our corpses, because God would want that, and even take a shit on the skulls that are maybe left after that fire has raged on. Or they say, well, we add 2 more lines and some arrows and we'll be safe. We can live in peace. I totally get that censorship. That's just bending to stupidity of others, which in this case you kinda need to do. On top of that, as this basically is an original religion in this, why not have an original symbol? Well, it's not the most creative, like, it's not original in the originality sense because it's basically still a cross, but it's the symbol of Rubus, and that's good. That's good.
A cross, but this has been around since Dragon Quest VIII on the PS2, and even earlier, Dragon Warrior 1 through 4 on the NES had the crosses removed and supplemented with the kind of star design. And they also, instead of calling it God and stuff like that, they refer to it as the Goddess, which in my opinion gives the series a bit of its own identity, because they're not praying to God or a specific god or anything like that.
And I am, quite honestly, of the opinion Goddess makes more sense than God. I technically would say whatever created the world should be genderless, because it's that being that is... It's neither male nor female. It's a being that created things. But if you want to give it a gender, female makes so much more sense, because basically creating, giving birth to the world. Who gives birth? Females. And because we live in 2024, biological females. Yes, I know if you're like a trans man, you could technically give birth as a man, but face it, biologically speaking, purely biological, you are still a woman. That's just how it is. And you have to live with that. I accept you as a man if you want to be. No problem there. Absolutely no problem there. But purely biologically. Why am I getting into this topic in a Dragon Quest video? Oh gosh. Just want to clarify. I am only talking purely biologically. And that is something you just cannot, like, ignore, you know? And thus, a female goddess who created everything does make more sense.
Yeah, they're praying to the goddess, who could be seen as Ramia or something like that. It's just something that I've never had a problem with, and in fact actually enjoyed.
If you're going to be able to have more people enjoy this great franchise that we all love and appreciate and cherish with all our hearts, what's wrong with that? How is that a bad thing? I don't understand that part, the Type A, Type B. There's nothing wrong with that at all. The censorship, yes, I think everyone has a bit of a problem with it. But when it comes to not supporting a new Dragon Quest game that is getting full support in the West as far as marketing and confirmed to be released here and stuff like that, I think that's horrible. I think we need to cherish what they're doing for us. They're making this HD2D remake. Hell, we didn't even get... When Dragon Quest 1 through 3 were released on the Switch, yeah, they were kind of the shitty mobile versions of the game, just like upscaled for the most part on the Switch. But guess what? Those games were also released on the PS4.
I think they are fine. Like, the mobile look isn't the best. I definitely prefer it over the original NES look because that it's NES. That didn't age too well. 8-bit is like, when you have 16-bit, 8-bit just doesn't catch as much. You know, I don't want to say it looks bad. Don't get me wrong there, please. But, you know, there are 16-bit versions. The mobile versions are also just more colorful. They're better on the eyes. You can play 1 and 2 and 3 easily on this Switch collection. You can do that. It's okay. Though, I would say if you want to get into 1, 2, and 3 now, wait for the remakes. Like, there is a 1-2 remake coming. Wait for those. Those will be the definitive versions to play, in my opinion.
Those games, when you beat Dragon Quest XI for the first time on the PS4, the original version that came out,
Yes?
once you beat the game, now, spoiler alert for the next, 15 seconds here if you haven't beat Dragon Quest XI,
I
but
did.
the ending of Dragon Quest XI, the very ending, the true ending, ties into the beginning of Dragon Quest III.
Yes.
Once you beat that game, you unlock a copy of Dragon Quest III on the PS4. Dragon Quest 1 through 3 did not come out here in the West on the PS4. You have the same people. You have the same people mad that those games didn't come.
Wait! You unlock a copy of Dragon Quest 3 and 11 when you... Is that not in the Switch version? Though I did also beat it on PS4. Did you actually? And I never noticed that? I have to research that after this video. Holy shit.
Come out here on the PS4 that are also mad and saying, don't buy Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, don't support this because there's a tiny bit of censorship that is not going to affect the game whatsoever. So yeah, that's where I stand on it. That's where I think most people stand on it. I think it's all clickbaiting and rage baiting and stuff like that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And this is kind of the way the internet has gone, man. Kind of the way YouTube has gone and content creation has gone. It's all about rage baiting. It's all about being fake. It's all about catering to whoever or whatever you think is going to give you the most clicks, the most views, and the most likes. Anyways, if you appreciate honesty, if you love Dragon Quest, you love JRPGs, and all that stuff, please remember to like, subscribe, turn notifications to all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, do all that, like I said, link to his channel in the description down below. Yeah, honestly, what are people even complaining out when it comes to censorship here? It's barely anything. It's just small, little details that you don't even notice in sprites. Like, in the game, you will not notice them. In the artworks a bit more, but the artworks aren't in the game, so, well, maybe there is a section where you can watch the artwork. I don't know. The game isn't out yet. But, like, it's just sheer stupidity. Also, it's an agenda that is pushed by... I don't know if agenda might be a bit too... rating a bit too high, but well. But, like, by people who aren't into Dragons, who probably wouldn't play that game anyway. They just drop in because there are clicks to be made. And they are hurting this franchise so much. And by hurting this franchise, they hurt us, the fans of Dragon Quest. And I hate that. If there was, like, a real issue. For example... What would be a real issue? If they removed the option to choose your sprite and you just go with a male. That would have been an awful change because you barely have female lead characters in Dragon Quest. You have one in 3 where you can choose between them. You have one in 4, again, you can choose between male and female. And then basically in 9 and 10 where you create your own character that can be male and female. All the other characters that are set, where you don't have any choice, are all male. And I think having a female main character would be okay. You can do that here and there. Why not? No problem with that. But all of them are just choosable. But if they would remove the choice of that, in one of the games, especially in a remake, which had that choice before. That would be a real issue we need to discuss. This, however, especially the Type A and B stuff, there is no discussion to be had here. It's just whatever. It's like, okay, let's say this tissue here says, okay, male and female is Type A and B now. Okay, noticed. It's just like that. Also, I need to put that from the ground now. Damn it. I should have thought this through before. Yeah, that's my opinion on it. Like, I don't even know if you could call this censorship, really. It's just adjustments for a different market. That's okay. Yeah, that's my opinion. Again, check out Dookie here. Like and subscribe on my end as well. I would appreciate that a lot. Share the video and check out my other videos as well. And until next time, bye.